Trisha Paytas went on Gabbie Hanna's podcast and it was kind of awkward, and like that was going to be my footnote, and then I tried to look and as to refresh myself, and nothing else happened. They're like Mars rover, that's not really pulp culture. I don't really understand what's going on with it, but a space thing has landed on a space other thing.
Space is happening, and
space
we better get
space
with it.
Space is always happening. We are also space, so
yeah, we are space. The Trisha Paytas Gabbie Hanna thing.
Oh yeah, back onto the
what did you think about that? Like, what were your thoughts?
I only watched Drama Channel bits of it. Obviously, I didn't watch it because who has got that much time to spend on those two?
Not me. Who listens to podcasts?
And I just felt like it was really awkward. I think Gabbie Hanna, I think it was nice, like they managed to sit in a room nicely together, but also they're like women in their 30s, so you'd hope they would be able to be sitting across from each other civilly having a conversation. But it was awkward because I felt like Gabbie was trying to say, oh, you know, I thought we were really close friends, and Trish was like, I don't remember that. No, that didn't happen. It's all in your head. That's why. And now Trish has come out and addressed it, but they're just doing the old thing, but they don't have anything to fight about. So they've created a situation where they can be like, let's rehash our old things, let's talk about what we used to go through, and now come to some sort of impasse, which is great. Like, good. People reconciling, no issue with that. But also, did anyone need it? Did anyone ask for it? No. Trish has been in the news a lot. Gabbie Hanna saw that and was like, oh, Trish is now kind of a good guy. I'll go and make up with Trish publicly on my podcast in a platform I can control, my team edits, and, you know, we can bury the hatch.
And I also think it's to do with the whole Shane Dawson drama going on when Trisha has really exposed him as being like, he's the orchestrator of everything. And maybe Gabbie thought, oh, well, there was that whole thing a couple of years ago where I was, you know, all the drama about me telling Jason Nash that Trisha had an STD. And not just a small one, quite a biggie. And so, you know, one of the incurables. So maybe she had this thought of like, oh, we could get together and really follow this narrative of like Shane orchestrated that. And I'm sure to some extent he did, but I think it was probably you know, you have your own ability to start drama as well, don't you?
To tweet out shady tweets and just watch the whole world fall apart, which is what they do. This is what they've built their career upon. As much as they've been content creators, they've also massive drama queens.
And I think like I'm kind of just tired of it now. Honestly, I watched some of the drama videos and I was bored. Like I turned off halfway through. I was like, really well, if you'd asked me what was going to happen if these two girls did a podcast together, I would have told you exactly this. Like, they're not going to have a massive fight, are they? Because that would be like, it would just be weird.
So it would look really pathetic that they were still angry about the petty things they were angry about like 5 years ago. Like that's not an angle,
also,
really.
Like, wouldn't it be more awkward as well if they were like, you listen to the podcast and they were just best friends now, like that would be weird too. So it didn't seem surprising to me, and I have no interest in it.
No.
Other than like I have an interest in that it happened, but to listen to it for any drama to come from that, I just think what a waste of time. Like grow up. I actually have some things that I thought. Well, one thing that I really thought you'd talk about because it involves Dolly Parton.
Oh, is this about the statue?
Yeah, so Dolly Parton did some reading of the room, and they were going to have a statue of her in Tennessee, and she asked that it be put on hold, saying that given all that is going on in the world, I don't think putting me on a pedestal is appropriate at this time. How lovely.
I love her so much.
Actually see what's going on in the world and think, okay, I don't want to be idolized right now. I'm not the person who should be being idolized when, like, we're going through a pandemic, you know, people are risking their lives. Not that they should become heroes. There's a whole different conversation there. But she knows that she's read the room and that now is not the time for that. And I love her for it.
And I
already love her for them all.
I love Dolly anyway, no matter. I will always love Dolly. Same Dolly.
Obviously.
But in the same vein, if she has that and that trickles down into like her publicity team, into her management practices, into she's like the only ethical person that I don't mind having billions of dollars because I feel like she practices something in giving back. Like her community, like in Tennessee, a lot of people are employed in Dollywood. Obviously not at the minute because of Corona, but like she is still always mindful about the perception of her, and always is like, actually, don't put me on a pedestal. I don't want that. I don't want whatever you think. Like, I'm just a person.
Yeah.
And to still have that, even though you're Dolly Parton, I think she really, I don't know. I love her.
She's Dolly Parton. They were gonna give her a statue. That's how influential she is. Like, not just in Tennessee. Carry on.
Yeah, I think it's the statue that, so it was to replace a slaveholder who was one of the first governors of Tennessee, and they talked about it in the Dolly Parton's America podcast.
I didn't know this.
The governor of Tennessee had contacted the podcast people just as like the week before they were going to air their last episode. I think this is the same thing. And he spoke to them and he was saying, like, why do we still have this Confederate person being honoured, and it's all men, and there's like 9 statues, and he was like, we should have a replacement, and we should replace it with Dolly Parton. So that's really interesting.
That is really interesting.
It's to be in like the state capitol or something. So it's a big honorary building, but she was going to replace a slaveholder. So I hope they took the Confederate down, and it's just going to be empty until Dolly fills it.
That would like. We got some Demi Lovato news this week from the new documentary that will be coming out in March, which we will watch and talk about when it comes out. What did we find out from the little snippet we got, Holly? What's Demi been going through?
Demi Lovato has had 3 strokes, at least, and a heart attack from her last overdose. And she's still alive, somehow. How is she still alive?
She is a fighter, for one. And I think this just, if you want to know more about our feelings about Demi Lovato, we talk about her in a podcast. Go check it out. Can't remember the name of it right now. Yeah, Child Stars Part 2. Go check it out, because we do go into more depth. But the overall feeling is we just want her to be happy and healthy and doing well. And I'm really sad that she had to go through that. And she has permanent brain damage now. And I don't think she can drive because of it.
It's partially vision. She's like black spots in her vision, which is so scary. That's God.
So that made me sad, but I have hope that this documentary will, 1, not be exploitative of Demi, let's pray, and 2, is her on a road to recovery again, and maybe a more permanent one this time.
And I hope it's the last documentary they do as well. Just let her be. Don't have one every couple of.
Just let her live.
Form for it. Just let her be.
And then I have one more thing before we talk about a big thing that happened yesterday. So I don't know if you saw this, but Olivia Wilde was talking about her new film this week and how it stars Harry Styles and Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
And this is the post that she wrote. I'm just going to read it.
Oh, don't make... Is she... Oh.
Just listen.
I like Olivia Wilde.
Well, little known fact. Most male actors don't want to play supporting roles in female-led films. The industry has raised them to believe it lessens their power, brackets, i.e. financial value, to accept these roles, which was one of the reasons it's so hard to get financing for movies focusing on female stories. That's okay so far. Like, bit of information into Hollywood. Then we get onto it. No joke, it is hard to find actors who recognise why it might be worth it to allow for a woman to hold the spotlight. Enter Harry Styles, our Jack. Not only did he relish the opportunity to allow the brilliant Florence Pugh to hold centre stage as our Alice, but he infused every scene with a nuanced sense of humanity. He didn't have to join our circus, but he jumped on board with humility and grace, and blew us away every day with his talent, warmth, and ability to drive backwards. So, my issue with that is, she has praised Harry Styles for doing the bare minimum.
And said he let Florence Pugh take centre stage and didn't have an issue with it. He let her! He is one of the actors. He's not in charge of the film.
You know what really gets me as well? Oh. Florence Pugh, her career is being an actor. She is Academy Award nominated.
Yes.
That is what she does. Harry Styles was in one direction. I know he has talent in acting. I know he's talented. But in what world would Harry Styles take centre stage over Florence Pugh? A bad world. And don't get us wrong, like, we love Harry Styles. But I do think it's got to a point where, like, maybe people are idolising him a bit too much. And so it's like, oh, well done for doing literally your job. And I just have an issue with Olivia Wilde saying, like, oh, I think it's important for women to be recognised in this industry and get stories that focus on women, and then
I love Harry Styles. Harry Styles is great. Harry Styles is wonderful. I love Harry Styles. Oh yeah, he let Florence Pugh take the centre stage, and he wasn't even complaining about what. Is it because is she dating him, or is that a made-up thing? No, well, that's why.
That's weird, right? That is weird behaviour. But it just rubbed me up the wrong way, and I think it did a lot of people. And this is not pulled my effort now. We still have really like Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. That is not us saying like cancel them. We don't like them. I just think that the post rubbed me up the wrong way. I didn't love the idea of just being like, well done for doing your job. Woo! Like. He did the bare minimum. Okay.
And
anyway.
He's been in Dunkirk, and that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, fair dude, it's a big debut.
Yeah.
But he only got that role because he's Harry Styles from One Direction. I think we're forgetting that he's from One Direction.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, again, we're not saying Harry Styles is untalented, shouldn't be in films. No, I mean, there is actors who become singers, singers who become actors. J-Lo's been doing it for super long times. But, like, I don't know, it's his second role. He should be, like, okay with letting Florence Pugh take
Who's
over.
At the top of her career, arguably, at the minute.
Yes. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. That's just weird. It just made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't enjoy that. But, well, I hope whatever the film is going to be, I hope he has a tiny part now. I hope she's made to cut his part to the smallest.
It's just him coming in going, hi, I'm Harry Styles, and then leaving. That's the only acceptable way for that film to go. So, what did we find out yesterday?
Moment of silence if you were a fan. If you weren't, I don't know. I really think I'm surprised about how indifferent I felt about this, but also
I felt nothing.
I felt nothing. I felt really, because our friends were talking about it yesterday, and everyone was like, I feel heartbroken, and I'm like, I don't feel anything.
People saying I feel heartbroken, and then a couple of Jeffree Star jokes speckled into it, which was
but we knew it was coming. We knew this was coming.
Yeah, well, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the fact that Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye West. And yeah, I think I agree with Holly. I just feel absolutely nothing. I kind of thought this was coming. We predicted this last year. So we knew it was coming. I think everyone suspected it. And also, I feel genuinely bad for them, I guess, but I do think it's probably going to be used in the last season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which takes away a bit of my, like, sympathy. Because it's, like, to what I don't know. They're still going through a divorce. I'm sure it's going to be tough. I hope they're all okay. But I do have my suspicions, and also I feel nothing.
Yeah, I really feel indifferent about it. But also, like, people are like, oh, I think she was probably planning to divorce him in January. First week of January, but then the Jeffree Star thing caught fire, and she was so pissed off that she was like, right, we've got to wait another month. We've got to wait until
because the Jeffree Star stuff in January was, oh god, that was a beautiful time to be alive. That was so good. Oh, I can't wait when it gets to the end of 2021 and we reflect on this year. I hope we really remember and give time to
January.
It was truly beautiful. What a start to 2021. Jeffree Star and Kanye, Armie Hammer being cannibals. Like, what else happened? There was a bunch of wild stuff happening, and we just were like, yep, this is the world now.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Okay,
so they're divorcing. Apparently, it's what I read was that they're fine with, like, joint custody.
Oh, that's nice. That makes me happy. And just make it easier on the children, you know.
But it's going to be easier on them anyway. Like, I think obviously it'll be difficult, probably for North because she's the eldest.
Yeah, and the others are quite young.
The others are tiny, so they're only going to know their parents being split up. Which again is sad. Like, I'm not being flippant about divorce. I think it's awful, but at the same time, it's like, how damaged are they going to be with all their money and family?
And we've discussed it before and sort of said it's like a lot of their aunties don't have husbands. So
it's just women.
So... Like, yeah, they're like cousins. They'll have gone through the same thing, so they probably will just be like, this is quite normal for us. Like, this is how our family operates. I think most people in that family have had a divorce. So, you know, I don't know. I just hope everyone's fine. But yeah, it probably is going to be a lot easier for them than a lot of other people.